Good evening. My name is Shelley Lewis, and I serve as president of the League of Women Voters of Geauga. On behalf of our board and the Political Action Committee of Kinston, we welcome you to our 2020 General Election Candidate Forum. Here with a special message from PAC is Kinston student Max Volrath.
Good evening. My name is Maxwell Volrath, and on behalf of the Political Actions Committee at Kinston, I'd like to thank you all for attending Candidates Night and showing your interest in politics. A principle of PAC is to educate those in our community on current political news and candidates. This has been a difficult year in every aspect of life and a huge year for political candidates. And so I would like to thank the League of Women Voters for putting on a virtual Candidates Night during this time of the COVID-19 pandemic. I would also like to thank the candidates for donating their time to discuss themselves and their ideas. This is a fundamental election, as it is an election for Congress and the President, with the census also occurring. With various state positions up for election too, this time more than ever, the American people need to get out to vote. Best said by Jackie Robinson, "I've never identified myself with one party or the other in politics. I always decide my vote by taking as careful a look at the actual candidates and the issues themselves, no matter the party label. Like Mr. Robinson, do not follow blindly behind one party tonight, but listen and decide for yourself who you believe to be the better candidate. In a controversial period, we need our voices heard. The best way for us to do so is to elect those we truly believe can accomplish that task." Thank you again and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you, Max. A few words about candidate participation. For each race, candidates were invited using previously confirmed email addresses. Decisions not to participate are noted in red for each race. The League of Women Voters of Geauga does not support or oppose any individual candidate or party. Therefore, candidate participation in this forum should not be construed as a league endorsement of any individual's candidacy. Our format and rules for this evening. This is a forum to hear from and question the candidates. It is not a debate. We do not distinguish between incumbents and challengers. Therefore, you will not hear us use titles such as congresswoman or judge. We do not permit surrogates to stand in for the candidate. Candidates for each race present in alphabetical order by last name. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to present and must focus on their own qualifications and plans. The moderator then will present questions that have been gathered from the community via our website and screened by a league panel for compliance with our published criteria. Candidates have 1 minute to respond. Time limits will be strictly enforced. Candidates receive a 30-second alert during their opening remarks and a 10-second alert when responding to the community's questions. The time warnings will be visible to the candidates in the Zoom chat. The word "done" will be displayed in the Zoom chat when the time has elapsed. The moderator may, at their sole discretion, extend or shorten the questioning period. As a reminder, the League of Women Voters of Geauga is a nonpartisan political organization that encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. The League does not support or oppose individual candidates or parties. Our moderator tonight is Dr. Robert Lee. Dr. Lee serves as Vice President of the League of Women Voters of Geauga. Dr. Lee.
Thank you, Shelley. Tonight, first on the agenda, we have issue 19, which is the Geauga Job and Family Services. And here to speak about that tax issue is Craig Swenson, who's the Executive Director for the Geauga County Job and Family Services.
First of all, I want to thank the League of Women Voters of Geauga County to have me here to speak on issue 19, which is a 0.7 mil renewal levy that's on this ballot for November 3rd. Again, this is a renewal, which is always a little bit less stressful than it is to have a new or additional levy. It is a tax that originated in the early 2000s. It is our mainstay levy. Currently, Geauga County Job and Family Services, and specifically our Social Services Division, our Children's Services Division, is supported by two levies. One which just passed this past spring, and again this next one, which will be on the ballot again for this fall. The other one is a 0.5 mil, which was a new tax in 2015, and again, this is our renewal of our 0.7 mil, which again started back in the early 2000s, and really is our main operating levy to support our Children's Services Division. In general, for the state of Ohio, ranks as one of the least supported children's services states when it comes to state funding for children's services. And so you actually have a lot of counties throughout Ohio that are supported by tax levies. And we're very thankful that we've had the support of our Geauga County taxpayers for quite some time. And really this mainly goes to support our staffing, which responds to, on average, about 600 children's services investigations annually. And also goes to support the children that we have in our custody and that we're also caring for when we have to get involved with a family. Oftentimes, these children need to be placed out in an out-of-home placement. So that can be a foster home or therapeutic foster home, a group home, a residential treatment facility, or sometimes even a hospital-oriented setting, psychiatric setting, which in those particular settings can cost up to almost $600 a day for those placements. So those are really the two main things that the levy supports when it comes to us. Again, this is not a new tax, but this 0.7 mil raises just around $2 million a year for us. And as it comes to the taxpayers, costs about $20 annually per $100,000 of tax valuation for your property. So with that being said, I'm not sure if there were any questions that were submitted prior. Happy to answer them. And if not, we just ask for your support and vote yes for issue 19.
Craig, we did not have any questions submitted for your issue, but I did have one that maybe you want to add to that, is that how has COVID-19 impacted your financial bottom line?
Absolutely. I appreciate that question. And it's a really good thing for the taxpayers to know. My staff, my social workers, and we also have a armed investigator on staff, are essential workers. And so we never shut down. We are a 24/7, 365 operation that, and we're not just your standard 8 to 4:30 county workers. So COVID-19 didn't stop us. We've had to be creative in how we have dealt with COVID-19, which include additional purchases, as you can imagine, for sanitizer, PPE, masks, just ways to keep our staff safe, our vehicles clean and safe, because obviously we have to transport children, vehicles all throughout the pandemic, go into people's homes. We have protocol for, every time, including myself, going to the building, there's protocol that we need to answer every single day to make sure. And thank God we've been able to, keep everyone safe and healthy throughout this time. I will say during the pandemic, for a period of time when everything was shut down, there was a period of time where we were wondering why we weren't, getting as many calls as we may have been expecting. but the answer is pretty simple, is when everyone's shut down and locked down in their homes, if there is abuse or neglect or other things going on, people aren't laying eyes on it. So now that the school year started up, the calls have kind of started to come in pretty quickly. And, really kids in schools are just getting accustomed to, being back in class or online. So we still don't have the eyes like we normally do on the kids. And obviously people are wearing masks, and some people are still doing schooling online. So it's still a little bit odd, but the calls have definitely picked up. And I think we're going to expect things to pick up really as things progress through the school year.
Okay.
And I will say the impact
your time
Sorry?
was up on the question.
Oh, sorry.
We have a timer, so I don't have any other questions, and you were the first one to be on our program tonight, and want to thank you for attending.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. We had scheduled the U.S. Congressman representative for the 14th District, and two people are running for this position, and it's Hillary O'Connor Murray and David P. Joyce. And neither candidate were available to do this due to scheduling conflicts. Just want to have a notice that, as indicated on the slide, there is going to be a rebroadcast of this event through the Geauga League of Women Voters, as you can see, and also on GTV via Spectrum, that they will also be replaying tonight's candidates night. Then the next thing for those who are on site is to also reference some of the other valuable things as we go through the selection process. As the voter guides, Vote 411 is an opportunity for registering to vote, update registrations. Also, the voters in Geauga County should have all received their printed voter guide that have the responses from all the candidates. And this is something that has been valuable, that has been produced here in Geauga County for many years. And for the judicial candidates, you can also go to the judicialvotescount.com, and that is another reference for people that have interest in the judicial candidates. So this concludes our Geauga County Candidates Night for 2020 general election. I want to take this opportunity to thank the candidates who participated tonight. The coronavirus has temporarily changed our world, and it takes courage and passion for our candidates to step out of their traditional campaign box and to speak to the Geauga County voters via Zoom format. The challenges of public office has also become a bit more complicated as a result of social media. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you for your desire and willingness either to enter and or to serve in the public arena. Special thanks goes to the Geauga County League of Women Voters and the Kenston Schools Student Political Action Committee. Individuals in both groups voted many hours of their time to make this event happen. The Geauga League of Women Voters are going to continue to remain equally passionate about increasing voter participation and creating more informed citizens. Thank you again for participating, and best wishes.